Rebecca wrote my monthly blog for us, and just about being business owners and how, the overwhelm can be so real, especially, if you're a solopreneur or somebody who works just by yourself, but all the way up to people who are running, larger companies with more employees. It can feel like very overwhelming. So I thought this would also be a good time to talk about it because we are in June, and two things. This is our season finale, if you will. We take off from this live stream for the summer. We'll bring it all back forward in the fall. But also because one, talk about overwhelm, but two, yeah, being June, it's like halfway through the year.
Hi.
She's back.
Hi,
Do you,
everybody.
do you feel overwhelmed? Are you okay?
Well, I do. I'll be honest with you. I have some empathy for you as the host, who's like, "Can my guests please get their shit together?" Also, I'm using no headphone and no mic, so
Here we go.
I
It's
have the
so,
audio quality is gonna be the thing.
I mean, it does. It sounds good. And also, what's funny is I feel like now I'm gonna have like three little mini recordings, and I'm gonna have to figure out. We're gonna have to edit them together, but it'll be
I'll
fine.
tell you what. If you need support
I
with
can
that,
work
I
out.
can. I can get it done.
Okay. Well, are you able to reflect on this blog post that you wrote for us? Because it was really great. You had a lot of really such good insights that I think people would really appreciate. So tell me like highlights of when you were writing it, like that stood out for you.
First of all, I had so much fun. I know I say that. I had so
Hmm.
much fun with this one. I just let it all fly from my fingertips. It was just a piece in which it just all
Hmm.
came together, and I was just tickled with myself the entire way through. So it's really my very most natural voice. No
Hmm.
performative, no outline. I mean, I do kind of structure it with an outline, but nothing to where I'm shoehorning myself into a structure. This was
Hmm.
really about letting my voice free,
Yeah,
unchained,
Unchained.
if you will.
And one of the things you said, because I have it open here because I want to make sure I can reflect to it, is about being overwhelmed. While it sucks, it's really just it's data, it's information.
That's
And
your favorite.
so, with that,
That's your favorite line.
that's there's a few. I feel like it just started in such a way that it's like, yeah, I mean, it really is just information. So what do you think people do when they get that overwhelm? Like, how do you process it into information versus like, well, the weight of the world's on my shoulders and that's it. Like, there's no solution to it, is what I think a lot of people feel when they get that overwhelming feeling.
I think also when your kind of natural reaction to it, that you kind of over time have conditioned yourself in a pattern to pay attention to what that is. Is it bed rot? Is it, I'm not going to do anything? Is it like, well, then I'll never have a business and I'll never. What do you naturally do when you're in that space? And if you can kind of catch that you're falling into that rabbit hole
Hmm.
way before it becomes 5 days with a pillow over your head, you can just start to like create a relationship with the overwhelm. What are you actually trying to tell me? And
Hmm.
then lean on your toolkit. Like it really, as entrepreneurs, it's really always about, well, what's in my toolkit? Okay, what can I delegate? The stuff heard your whole life. Well,
Right,
what can I take off my plate?
right,
What don't I have to do? What can I push off? Who can I not, deliver this week and just ask for some sort of an extension? That
correct.
information just kind of tells you where you're headed, because
Hmm.
once you're off the cliff already, once you're like, oh, doomsday, I'm so
Yep,
overwhelmed, it becomes very difficult to recover from that.
right.
So to me, it's really about framing more than anything else. Am I going to frame this as like, it's too hard?
Hmm.
I have so much to do. I'll never get it all done. Why don't I have help? Why don't I have capital? Why haven't I figured it all out? And really just pull back and be like, okay, what am I actually trying to do,
Hmm.
and just take
Yeah,
a one elephant bite
one
at a time.
elephant bite at a time. Yeah, that's one of the things that you wrote about too. And I think sometimes we feel like it's yeah, I did a presentation or a lunch and learn today with some people who are, newer in business, and a lot of them were artists or creatives, and um, just that feeling of like they have to do everything themselves. And I think all of us who start a business we go through that. And those of us even who work in a particular department or industry in our company, we're like, I've got to do all of it and all of it right now. And it's like that it literally never works. And even if everything is coming toward you, there has to be a moment where you stop and you're just like, okay, hold on a second. Because sometimes, especially when we own our own business, we created stuff that is not working to build our business or move it forward or do the hit the goals you want to hit, but we do because we created that and we have to keep doing it because I made that. So I need to keep doing it forever and ever.
So
What
I'm consistent. We get trapped, right? Consistency. I
totally.
have to be consistent. That's
I,
every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. And it
right.
gets to the point
Yeah.
where you just kind of don't let yourself actually enjoy what you're doing. You don't
Hmm.
enjoy the journey. My suggestion to like an artisanal or a creative type who's hanging on a shingle to commercialize their thing is to, well, honestly, this is my advice to anybody, and I don't think I wrote about it in this blog post, but it really is the beginning. What does success look like to you?
Hmm.
You have to define your own level of success. If success, sister friend, is I make every I touch every bit of the process. It is just me, handmade. This is my
Hmm.
brand. I'm happy if I am making I don't know what, but let's just
Hmm.
say coffee mugs because it's just easy. Like I don't mean to
Right.
reduce it to anything. Like I want to make every mug. I want to paint every
Hmm.
one. I want to get to know every customer myself. I want to write every piece of copy. I want to take every photograph. I want to host every event. Awesome. Awesome. You've made that decision and that's what's true for you. So
Hmm.
just one bite at a time is the elephant in the room.
Right.
You make your little mug. Then you do this. Then you do that. But if your version of success is, I'm just going to burn myself out in hustle culture until enter secret formula, huzzah, and I've scaled,
Hmm.
it just doesn't work that way. And in
Yeah.
fact, bootstrapping, doing everything yourself while it looks good on paper, you'll never actually be able to grow beyond your own capacity.
Right.
So if you don't love doing your books,
Then hire.
maybe it's time to think about letting somebody else do your books to take
Yep.
that off your plate. And
Yeah.
I
We
know
just.
we all get like, I can't. I only
Hmm.
have so much funds. I only have so much resources. Then either one, how are we going to reprice you? Two, how are you going to go see Angela, your favorite daughter, and find out how to market yourself a little differently? Or
Yep.
three, you need to have a good hard look in your mirror about what success looks like. There isn't
Yeah.
a prescribed amount of time of like, oh well, in 3 to 5 years, question mark,
Hmm.
dot dot dot, I will have made this happen. You
Right.
really have to start learning to have a relationship with overwhelm on day one and understand, why do I feel overwhelmed? Well, I have a project that's due. Did
Yeah.
I not have enough time to do it? That's a question. That's the
Yeah.
data you're looking for. Did I not
Yeah.
have enough time? Do I feel unprepared? Do I have
Hmm.
too many projects at once?
Yeah.
Am I spending a lot of my time trying to write the perfect blog post when really I should be doing a client
Right.
deliverable because it's due in 3 days? Do I
Uh,
work best under pressure? Sometimes my best work
yeah.
comes when I feel like I have a gun to my head,
Right.
and I
And I
just
think
know
that
that about myself.
those are such good questions, but also it's like, again, that's like putting the pin in it and stopping yourself and being like, hold on a second. Because I find that, again, either I'm doing the things I really love way too much. I'm a connector. I love to, I love to have coffee with people or talk to people, it's like, that's all well and good. And that's part of my personality. And if I spent all my time doing that, that there would be no business. There just wouldn't be. I need to build time to do my work, and I need to, if I'm just sort of like willy nilly, like, I'm having coffee dates or I'm having these informational calls, but I'm not like, is this to help build my business, or what's the goal? Like you said, is this because this is one of my people and I just want to make sure I'm connected to them regularly? Why am I doing this? Because I could look back on my calendar and be like, that's where all my time went, which is, again, it doesn't be a bad thing. It's just it's data and information of like, you did all these things you really love to do, but you would also set a goal of X amount of new clients in this quarter and you got zero.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
Or those
Right.
conversations should be turning into clients so
Right.
that you're doing more than just like, hey, just want you to know I'm still in the plan. I'm so guilty of that,
Oh
of
yeah,
like
because it's fun.
outreach with no point, right? Like
Yeah.
just thinking about you and your
Just
little
again,
contacts
how's
and
it
how cute you
going?
are. How's it going? We should jump on a coffee chat sometime. And then it
Yeah.
never actually kind of turns into either a referral or a collaboration or
Right.
you know, something. I'm not saying every single
Everything.
call has to
Right.
have that agenda, but like if you're spending a lot of time on Zoom calls, I'm so guilty. Spending a lot of time on Zoom calls, but not actually moving forward with
Anything.
engaging. It's really about
Right.
engage, like real engagement.
Yeah.
Then I
It,
suggest like, okay, then only on Tuesdays do you have your coffee chats,
right.
so that you at least have 6 other days out of the week to do whatever you want with. So contain it is a
Hmm.
good way to kind of manage the overwhelm.
Yeah.
Also, what are we avoiding? What are we
Right.
actually avoiding? Like, I would love to be on a Zoom call for hours and hours just talking shit with Angela. That is the truth. But maybe I'm avoiding something that will cause me overwhelm later. So it's
Right.
just really, it's like your nervous system starts to get hot under the collar.
Hmm.
Why? Too much on
Yeah.
your plate? Why? Like, it's just asking why 1,000 times. Why? Oh, well, because I took on too much work. Why? Because I'm scared about not making enough money.
Hmm.
Why? Because I don't feel like I can make this business successful. Why? Because I'm worried that, like, it's just if you keep going, you'll
Right.
uncover what
It's
you're
like
really.
being pretend you're a 6-year-old, right? Why?
Yeah, that's a good way
Why?
of thinking about it.
Why? So, but yeah, I think sometimes it's hard for us in our sometimes we get stuck in our little bubble of our business to, take that step back and say, am I doing this because I love it? This particular part of my business, or am I doing it because I created it or because I've always done it this way? And I think that's a really tough one because
Ah,
it's like I
the
gotta
way we've
snap out.
always done it. My
Yeah,
least favorite words in the English language.
totally.
That's so dangerous.
So dangerous.
Or that you've heard it. I should be. If you hear the word should, you're should. My sister says you're shooting on yourself. You're
That's
shooting on.
right.
I should be doing lives and not dropping the call. I should be writing. I should be on LinkedIn. I should be
Mhm.
doing this much outreach. I should be at a conference. I should be
Right.
doing my books. That word is another signal. That's a
Yep.
car alarm of
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because today, the conversation I had with these people today, um, a few of them were just like, they felt like marketing is what's overwhelming. And it's like, a lot of times going back to your, um, I don't know what you call it, a business plan, call it whatever you want, your path, your purpose, whatever going back to that will sometimes help make it not feel so overwhelming. So one thing we talked about is like one, like who is your audience? We often forget our audience is either
But one,
changed or it's not what it once was, or they're getting
or
the
they're not on
information else.
LinkedIn, or they're
They're
not
not
on
on LinkedIn.
Facebook.
And that was the thing. That's exactly what I said. I was like, you might be, trying to come up with Instagram content, and next thing you know, you're like, "God, my people aren't even on Instagram." I kind of made the
Exactly.
joke that if I was, marketing to my mom, I'd be on Facebook more often, because she's a certain
Yeah.
demographic, right? But I think that that's the thing too. Is like sometimes it's like, wait, why am I doing this again? Do I have to be on every single platform? I had clients, anytime a new social media platform came out, they're like, oh, I guess I got to be on this. I got to be on. I'm like, let's take a second. Let's take a
Well,
breath. When
those are the social media platforms stealing your own sense of confidence from you
uh-huh,
to
100%.
scatter and distract you. Like, honestly, if you're on LinkedIn for 6 hours a day, you're not really doing business development. You've caught into the you caught into the web of LinkedIn that's the only place that you can drum up business. Am I
Right.
saying LinkedIn is not a place for business? No, but if if you're diffusing your message and your marketing efforts just kind of on somebody else's algorithm,
Mm-hmm.
I think your advice to go back to the drawing board. What did you even come on here? What did you even start for? Like, remember your why? Like, what was
Right.
I made for? Like,
Right.
really go back. What is my point? Oh,
That's
I'm
right.
out. I really want to help X, Y, and Z do this because I
Of
care
that.
for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath. Like, ground yourself. Put your feet on the floor. Ground
Yeah.
yourself. Really get close to your center. And then I would also just say, if you're overwhelmed by marketing, Angela's your girl.
Well, I'm still gonna make you do some marketing though, so but I will help you ease
Yeah, but
into it
I
and
mean,
not try to throw what do they call it, throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean, you
I
know.
love The wall spaghetti,
Well, spaghetti. That's
delicious.
how that's how I learned to make spaghetti. But yeah, I mean,
But
I'm
you
not.
can,
But I'm going to push people to say, are you uncomfortable with it because you don't understand it? Is it that you just don't want to be exposed? Because for some people, they just don't want to like reveal too much. And it's like, well, unfortunately, if you're running a business, you're going to have to tell people about it somewhere, somehow.
I hear a lot of. I don't like getting tons of email, so I feel like everything I send is a bother. There, you get people get it in their. I mean, we're all
Yeah,
guilty of it. You get overwhelmed by thinking, if I send one email a week, am I going to turn people off? Are they going to think
yep.
it's just too much? I can't stand to get another email. Why would anybody else want to hear from me?
Hmm.
And that just sends you into like just the isolation chamber
Right.
of fear of like, well, I don't want to bother anybody, so now I have to think about what I want to say that won't be a bother. But if I think about what I'm going to say, then I get overwhelmed because I don't know what I'm supposed to say, and
That's
it
so
starts
that's
this like big
exactly
spiral.
that's exactly the conversation we had in this session today. It was like, there's no magic, right? If you want to send an email once a month, you want to send one twice a week, it's all on you if you can create all that or have someone create it for you and it's relevant. But I'm with you on the I feel like if I signed up for your emails because I want to be in the Rebecca Stone Fruit world. So I have
Absolutely.
volunteered my information to get it. Does that mean I'm reading every email each week? Maybe not. But just seeing it is like, ooh, I know she's written something really interesting. I don't have that same vibe for, DSW or J. Crew, but I still get those emails. And when it's time for a sale and I need a pair of shoes, it's like, boop,
That's
let me
just
get.
top of mind. I think we don't realize how much just having even if no one reads it, even
Yeah.
if they never click through, just seeing the subject line in your email browser actually does a lot for just kind of resonance, top of mind, like just
Hmm.
keeping yourself fresh. It-
Yeah.
the body of the email can actually be like not even as important as the subject line. So
Right.
you don't have to pour over everything, just obsessing over what your message is going to be.
Hmm. Back to your blog post, pro tip number one, release perfectionism and reframe that ish. So, you
Reframe
know,
that itch, baby.
and then one bite at a time. Okay, we talked about both of those, right?
I
But
just want to say a little bit about perfectionism and
okay,
reframing, if I
yeah,
may.
yes.
Something I really learned from a client of mine who's a leadership coach and really backed in neuroscience. I've learned a ton from her about fear and perfectionism. And the reframe she taught me is to think of it like think of failure as experimentation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you stop saying, "Oh, I'm going to fail at that," I'm just experimenting.
Right.
It takes so much pressure off of like it has to be perfect because we get obsessed with the idea of failure. What is that going to mean? Then no, I think our biggest fear is like people aren't going to take me seriously.
Right.
If I don't do X, Y, and Z, if I don't do it all, but no one will take me seriously, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just kind of a false choice I push back against. You can be professional and be yourself at the same time.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. I agree with that. And also, this whole perfectionism thing. I mean, I definitely broke some of that. I would reread emails like when I had a corporate job, like when I was sending out, a marketing program. It was like like the fine tooth comb. I was just like, I have to get it right. It's going to hundreds of people and this and that. And while I still have it, I want it to be right and accurate and not have typos. But like when I started my business and I went to launch I told the story earlier today. My website, I just wasn't hitting publish. I was just kind of like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not sure. I don't know. I got to reread it. I got to. And a friend of mine who actually works at Amazon was like, you know what we do? She's like, we get it 60% ready and 40% after launch, we hustle to fix it. She's like, I'm not saying that for everybody. She's like, but you're not getting 100,000 people to your website today. And I was like,
yeah,
well, that's rude, but she's right. And that's all
rude.
that's all it took was me being like, yeah, what am I? And did I find some typos? I did. I went in, I fixed them. I didn't, put myself out of business. I didn't post. My website wasn't, offensive to anybody. It just was fine, and I just needed to hit publish and go. But I was I think the fear I had was like, people are going to be like, oh, what does she think she's doing? It's like that's
Exactly.
my.
No one's going to take me seriously.
Hmm.
That's the underlying fear we all have. No one's going to
Hmm.
take me seriously.
Yeah.
And when you
Absolutely.
work like in a paycheck scenario, kind of just that you have your role that you've got been assigned your kind of status, it takes a lot of that little pressure off. But when you like hang out your own shingle and be like, this is me now,
Yep.
there's such a fear of not being taken serious. If I have a typo, why would anyone hire a writer?
Right.
All that does is just delay actually doing something. It puts you in the spiral of getting ready to get ready.
Yes.
It's just like a never ending cycle.
Yeah.
And I really kind of fall along the lines of one, either 80% is close enough, which is something I learned like 20 years ago. 80% is close enough. And
Mhm.
also, it doesn't always have to be a work. It's not a contest.
Right. I
It's not
did.
a contest.
I used to say it was the C students running the world. Now I kind of feel like it might be the F students that are running the world. But that's that's a topic for a different day. But yeah, I used to always say like, yeah, it's the C students that are in charge. It's fine.
Well, yeah, then what happens though? What happens if you let yourself, like, okay, I have to always give my A work?
Hmm.
Maybe you'll put out one piece of relevant It's not all about content, but we'll just
Right.
use that because that's easy for us to talk
Easy.
about in marketing lane. Maybe you'll put out one amazing piece of content every
Hmm.
couple of months.
Yeah.
Or you put out one amazing piece of content every couple of months, and instead of obsessing over that piece of content, then you put out 10 things that
Shitty.
are like,
Average.
yeah, that are just
Yeah.
like enough to
Yeah.
look. Even today, perfectionism has no real role for a lot of reasons. And most of it is like, if you don't show you're actually human, if you
Hmm.
don't show your like warts and all, if you don't show your struggle and how you handle conflict or problems, if you don't fall on your face every once in a while, you're not relatable.
Right. Yeah. Well,
You're
as
like, well, that's a bot.
I was gonna say, especially now, everyone's gonna be like, "Well, you're just AI or you're whatever. It's fake." And it's like, well,
Sometimes
no.
I'll let a typo fly. Like oftentimes in LinkedIn now, because like the algorithm, once you edit it, it's like you're done here. Just kind of slam
Right.
your face on the pavement. I'll let a typo fly, and instead of going like, "Oh Lord, I have to delete it and start again," I just go, "Well, proves I'm human."
Right. It's like those people who make TikTok videos and they put like the Easter egg in the video. Like there's something and everyone's like, "Why is that cat back there? What's that cat doing?" And everyone's like, "Well, you just got the engagement you needed." And it's like I don't personally love that because I'm like, well, now you're just tricking us into engaging. That's not
Yeah,
real engagement. That's just fake engagement. But
yeah, it's a plant.
whatever. It's a plant. But yeah, but it's so true though that we I think we were trained though to we need to before anything goes anywhere, it's got to be perfect, including you, yourself, and everything else has to be just so, and that's so unrealistic. But it takes a long time to learn that.
I say
You
to,
know,
to unlearn it. I would
to
say
unlearn it, to unlearn it.
unlearn,
Exactly.
especially Gen X women, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gen X
It's
women. We've really been trained to occupy a very specific, very polished space. We've
mm-hmm.
been competing with our male counterparts for any kind of crumbs, whether
Yep.
it's business or roles or promotions. And the only way we can do it is to be flawless, darling. But
Flawless, and then like go into these meetings all, I talk about this with some of my friends I used to work with. Go in there, you got to go in there like all like this, and everything needs to be lined up. I mean, I used to practice presentations ad nauseum, and I would look at those slides and I would change slides. And now I'm just like, this is it. I know what I'm talking about. Here it is. If you don't like it, that's cool. If we're not aligned, that's fine. But I know what I'm doing. So here you go.
trust either you want what's in this box
Yeah.
or you don't, and I don't
Right.
have to and I really don't have to prove it. I can just be myself. So,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that fear of not
I
being
always,
taken seriously,
I
that
always
fear
thought,
of being
yeah,
yourself.
I always thought being over prepared was the solution to that fear of like they're gonna not believe me or agree with whatever, they're gonna think I'm a dope. So I was like that over prepare goes along with that perfectionism where it's like I have to know every single question that room is going to give me. It's like sometimes you just don't know. I can't predict it. I have some things where I'm like, usually people ask this or usually people ask that, but like
Yeah.
I was like, what else could they ask? What else could they possibly ask? What do I need to be
Yeah,
prepared
like
for?
index cards for
Ah,
deflecting rejection. But I honestly think that there was a time and place where that was absolutely what was required.
yeah,
So you come by it honestly. I come by it honestly. Probably this audience comes by it honestly, where that was 100% the truth. We were
yeah,
competing in such a male dominated world that we
yeah,
had to be 4 times as good as we normally are in order for anybody not to just
yeah,
dismiss us. But say what you, say what you will about the pandemic. What I appreciate about it is that it really ripped the veil of performance off, and we started questioning all of our systems, all of
mm-hmm,
the ways that we do things. Like, do we really have to predict every single objection, or we'll never get the sale, or
right,
can we really be ourselves? What does the world want right now? And thank God the world wants us to be ourselves.
and
And
be
there's nothing
human.
exactly. There's nothing more overwhelming than having to perform to something that's not genuine or authentic. I don't mean lying, but just to like
Right,
perform I call it performing professionalism. Like
yeah,
where you just have to like use only resume speak language. Show up only, with your presentation rehearsed for hours and
hmm,
hours, predicting every objection, no typos, no flaws, you know, boots down, dressed all the way. Now we're like, was that really the most important thing?
right. Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, it came to me during the pandemic as well when you would start seeing, people on Zoom, right? They're at their own house or on whatever platform they're using, and the cat is coming across, and you're just like, oh, that's not something you would have seen at the office, right?
exactly.
Or the kids running through, or whatever's happening, or and you're just like, oh yeah, that he, he or she is they're human. They have people at home just like the rest of us, and they
Yeah,
have,
real life.
real life, and things are just happening, and we're trying to adjust to it. And I think that's I don't know why it takes us so long to figure that out.
Well, I think because patterns become self-conscious, not
Yeah,
self-conscious, subconscious.
subconscious, yeah.
Freudian slip when you say one thing but mean your mother. It
Oh
just
my gosh.
becomes so like your
Yeah.
patterns are so well worn. You're not
Yeah.
even questioning them. You're like, what do you mean? I'm going to an interview. I need to wear a suit. I have to wear pantyhose. Do you
I
remember
remember
when
that.
that was like a non-negotiable? If you
Oh,
did not wear pantyhose, you were unemployable.
yeah, so ridiculous.
So how long did that take to?
I was lucky I was interviewing at Whole Foods all those many years ago that my friend that was going to be in my interview panel, she called me the night before. Was like, by the way, it's not a suit kind of place, and I was like, oh, thank God you told me. She's like, don't show up here in a suit like you would at your ad agency life or wherever I was coming from
Yeah.
before. I was like, well, thank God she told me, so I could I was professional, but I could dress down because I definitely would have been in the room like real stuffy. I still had my old boss always laughs. She's like, I knew you were my hire because I had one of those leather things that you open up like a little notebook.
Oh
she's
yeah.
she goes, you busted that out with a pen. I thought, that's my girl. I was like, that's what it took. I didn't wear a suit, but I had a leather portfolio. She's like, yeah, I knew you were on it.
You never know what's gonna tickle somebody.
That's
Oh,
true, and
you
you got to
right
be
with the
yourself.
purple sharpie? You're my girl. Like you
You
never
got
know.
you got to be yourself. So, you had a point three on your blog. Do you remember it? Use it. Rigor and craft are the counterbalance to anxiety and uncertainty. That is some deep shit right there. Are we allowed to say
Mm,
shit on lives? Yeah, yeah.
we sure are. We
Rigor
sure
and
are.
craft are the counterbalance to anxiety and uncertainty.
I
So that's
mean,
not perfectionism. That is, what is that?
that's just like have fun with the problem you're solving rather than the bail you're toting.
Right.
It's just
Oh,
like, okay, if we forget, I believe we forget that this is really our life's work and we enjoy doing it.
yeah.
We forget that because we get so obsessed with the idea of a deliverable, like, oh, I must deliver this blog post, I must like deliver this article. And that feels overwhelming. But when I think of it like, wow, I have a client who has this very unique way
Hmm.
of doing and seeing things, and I've got to be able to tell a story that is relatable and
Hmm.
enjoyable to read.
Yeah.
And that is the fun part of it. So, like,
Right.
get into your craft. solve problems a different way.
Mhm.
Like my advice for writers is like, okay, or you can raise your fist and yell about every writer out there that's using AI because it's a
Mhm.
big topic, it's a huge
Of
topic right
course. Yep.
now. You can raise your fist about it, or you could be like, what could I do with that tool if I played with it?
Mhm.
The overwhelm of like, well, my industry has been crushed by AI and I'll never get anywhere. Like
Right.
that's overwhelming, but maybe instead say, all right, I, for whatever reason, politically, environmentally, consciously, morally, do not want to use that tool. So
Mhm.
instead, then get into your handcrafted era, baby.
Mhm.
That is about embracing the art and the craft of it, and
Mhm.
then the rigor for continually improving over time.
Yeah.
It's not about perfectionism, it's really about a continually improving process loop, and that's internal
Right.
validation.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can write the coolest fucking blog post for. Oop,
Right.
I hope we're
For me.
swearing. For instead of obsessed over the deliverable of it, and then you can start having fun again, which is really
Yeah.
like life is too short not to be having fun.
Right. And I think we do, especially as business owners, we forget it's really easy to just be like, I've got to grind. I mean, I have like, I don't feel that overwhelm at the moment, but I'm taking on a new client and it definitely can creep in. Mostly at night, I'm about to go to bed where I'm like, oh my God, there's gonna be so much to do. This is my last day of freedom because now I've got and I just like
Yeah,
I do exactly what you say. I'm like, oh, but this is gonna be really fun. I'm super excited. This is someone I've worked with before. I'm looking forward to, there's this challenge that she has and we're gonna tackle it and whatever. And so I do that too, but it's funny how it just kind of creeps in where you're like, this week is gonna be so busy. But it's like, all right, that's
hard.
fine. Yeah,
It's not
we can
forever. It's kind of to the point of like freedom isn't free. Like
right. Yeah.
But if you think about its seasonality,
Hmm.
okay, onboarding is always a busy season. And so we're
Yeah.
onboarding somebody new. That's going to make it a busy season. When we get overwhelmed is when we think the list is never going to end.
Right.
When it's like, it's
Yeah.
always great. I took on a new client. It's always going to be this way. I'm never going to have time for myself again. That is the overwhelm.
Yeah.
Instead of being okay, I know that for the next 6 to 9 weeks, there's so much of a learning curve to learn
Hmm.
every nuance of their business that I'm going
Yeah.
to be really kind of obsessed. And so get obsessed. Get
Hmm.
obsessed with it. Work weekends if you want to. Like, just go so far down the rabbit hole. Like, I love cracking this nut and solving this problem.
Right. Yeah.
But don't think of it as like it's never going to not be like this. I mean, unless
Right.
you want to keep onboarding clients like every 9 weeks, just try and recognize that it's not forever. There's
Yeah.
seasonality to everything.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. That
Like
is
this
that's
show.
so true. Yeah, I like the show. In fact, we've now officially been on 32 minutes, not counting our 6 minutes of
Okay,
whatever we.
sorry everybody out there on LinkedIn and Instagram.
When they finally watch it, they'll be none the wiser. They'll be like, "What are they
Oh my
talking about?"
god.
Just
That's
tech stuff. Is there any other now we're okay, so we've talked about overwhelm. Now we're at like I said, I always feel like June, it's like, whoa shit, it's June. Like where did
I
half a
mean,
year
I think
go?
it depends on your clients. Like
Yeah.
when my clients they're changing now, but there was a while where we were all moms. All of us were
Mm,
moms. They very I don't think I had any clients who weren't moms. So like you knew that summer was either going to be the time that they took a big break and that's
mm-hmm.
your chance to take a break, sleep in the
Right.
baby sleeping, like
Right,
that's
right,
your
right.
chance,
Yeah.
or turn it on its head and say summer's usually sleepy for you, you want to do an intensive, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to solve one problem that we've been struggling with for the whole year and that's all we're going to work on.
Right,
It makes it more fun. Like variety truly is the spice of life.
right.
uh, you can
And also,
just get
yeah,
into.
I was gonna say same thing is like whether it's with a client or for your own business, like it's a good time to just kind of be like, I had that really cool idea in that strategic plan I did. I have not executed on it, but there's probably a reason. Again, it's not to beat yourself up and be like, oh shit, I had this plan mapped out. It's more to just be like, oh, other things came up. Were they valuable things? Maybe, maybe not. Check that out. And then if you still have that idea, and then let's do it. Let's just move it to this quarter. No one else is waiting for you in your own business to come up with something. Do you know what I mean? Like
Exactly. We're
it's
not like
different
all
when
on bated
yeah.
breath, like, when is that new newsletter coming out? It's just,
Yeah,
it's just information,
it's
right?
just
Why didn't you
information.
get to it? Oh, well, I spent a lot of time doing client work. Is it time to hire someone? Question mark. Is it
Right.
time to let something go? I think that overwhelm a lot comes from like competing priorities.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to do all of it. I had a coaching client the other day where it was like, I want a retreat, I want a book, I want workshops, I want a signature talk, I want a podcast, I want all this stuff. And great, you can have all
All
of
of
it.
it.
But which one are we starting with? And I just coached her to like put three
Pick
columns
one.
on a piece of
Yeah.
paper, write 2026 on the top of one, 2027 on the top of one, 2028 on the top of the other one. And I was like, what is time bound? What needs,
Right.
oh, well, this conference is time bound. Great. Put that on 2026.
Right.
Then you're like, well, and what's the next thing you actually want to do? Well, I can't do the community until I write the book, or I can't write the book until I have the community or whatever. Great, put the community on the end of 2026 going into 2027. So like,
Right.
calm down. And we've all been there. Calm
Yep.
down and just kind of
Yep.
decide that you can do all of it. It's just not all going to happen at once. My sister says you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want.
I always say you can have it all, but you can't have it all today.
Yeah,
It's like
very good.
there's other days in the month and in the year that you're going to be doing that. So that's yeah, that's so true too. That feeling of like um yeah, one of the ways I broke that habit of overwhelm was I used to keep well, I still have like my pieces of paper, my scrap paper. So like I cut a piece of paper in half or into quarters when I throw something away. I use that as notes. But I used to make these like really long to-do lists by hand. And
They're so
it
satisfying to strike through the
right.
item.
And I actually had a business coach who was like, I want you to take that piece of paper, that quarter sheet paper that you, and I can see you scribbling on, she's like, I want you to make it this big. Like she was like making me make it smaller and smaller to really just add only what can fit on that page for that day. And
That's smart.
now I'm digital, so people thinking like, well, she's really got her little note papers. But I mean, I do handwrite some stuff, but I have a task management list, and even that, I'm just like sometimes I'll put something on a date just because it's like a random date, and I'll be like, oh yeah, Angela, you're going to do all 50 of these things today. But I now it doesn't stress me out. I'm not like I didn't get to my list. It's like, well, these things are all kind of part of the same project, and we're doing that tomorrow. So today we're doing this, and but it
True.
was really funny when she was like, I want you to use the smallest piece of paper you have. I want you to use a Post-it, and only what you can. And I was like, I gotta squeeze it in. But I
I
was
mean, that's
realizing
really
I'm
good
not.
coaching.
It was like, yeah, because she
That's
knew I
really
was
good.
bound by the list. If it didn't go on the list, it didn't happen. If I didn't have my list with me, if I left my list somewhere, it was like I was so like insane with my list. And then I
That's
realized I'm
my
just
calendar.
yeah,
I
it's
live and
just
die by the calendar.
I
Another
do it.
thing that's to
Mhm,
your list
mhm.
that Jill actually coached me on was because I just had ideas all the time. Like I'm just an idea factory
You
all the time.
are. It's
So
amazing.
she had me create an Asana board. We just called it the greenhouse. And
Oh,
the greenhouse is only for ideas,
mm,
nothing to be executed. So sometimes it's about just like capturing them.
mm-hmm.
So you're not holding them in your brain anymore,
Yeah,
putting them in the greenhouse, chill
yeah,
out. So they're at least somewhere. They're on a piece of paper. You don't have to hold all that chaos in your head.
yeah.
That is can be really contribute to overwhelm. So you're just giving it a home. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you're like, you know what, let me just take a stroll through the greenhouse. Actually, what is it that I want to? Great, put that on 2027.
I love that you
Or
call it a greenhouse too, because it's so positive.
it's what it feels like. You're planting your little sprouts, your little seeds of an idea, just kind of
Yeah,
letting them have sun, watering them every once in a while, seeing what grows, seeing what doesn't grow,
yeah. It's
keeping
beautiful.
yourself from feeling like I have to plant every tree, harvest every season, do everything. You have your own seasons. Maybe
Right.
your downtime is like I freaking love the 2 weeks between Christmas and like the
Oh
whole
yeah.
Christmas and New Year's, like that 2 weeks.
Oh,
That's my
it's the best.
absolute jam. It's my
It
jam.
really same. And I actually took this from another friend who's a consultant who she just like she shuts it all down. She's got a really good. She always has a really good out of office message that's sort of like I'm, doing my holiday stuff, and here's 3 books I'm reading or something. She always gives a
Oh,
little
that's
tip, and
cool.
she's like, don't bother me. I am.
So to know that in advance,
Mhm,
rather than to beat yourself up, what I used to do is be like, I'd take the time and
mhm.
then I'd start freaking out because no one was emailing me. And I'd be spinning out like, oh my God, I'm not going to have a business. My clients don't like me anymore. I fucked up. I didn't show up. I didn't wear
I didn't wear my
pantyhose.
pantyhose. I wasn't
Instead
professional.
now, I
Yeah,
just know that I take those 2 weeks every year. I try and take a 2 or 3 week sabbatical once a year, but I schedule it
right.
rather than being overwhelmed. I think in a perfect world, I would take 1 week off a month where I just wrote and I didn't have
Mhm.
any calls or obligations. 3 weeks out of the year, I would do a similar thing, and then maybe like every other year, I went and did a writer's retreat or some kind of sabbatical. Like bake it into your schedule if you need to
Yeah.
be type A about it.
Yeah, I do. We've talked about this. I do Friday Angela Fridays.
Yes.
And I've kept that going for a while. And it's not that I'm not working that day. I'm just trying not to have the most intense meetings or really it might be the day that I do my coffee dates. It might be the day that I write my social media stuff because I really that's my creative outlet. So it's a day that I get to do kind of what I want to do instead of things that kind of have to be done. So
And
that's
that's
I
your most
yeah.
potent work, right? It's
Yeah.
your most potent work. If I wrote your blog post like in between Zoom calls and due dates,
Mhm.
it probably wouldn't have been as good as if I just blocked freedom time
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
freely write it. And I certainly wouldn't have had as much fun. It would have been like, oh, I've got to get
Got
this done. Somebody's counting on me. I
right.
need to have this check this box.
Yeah. I totally get it. All right. Well, first of all, I did see you're offering a 10% discount. I'm just going to say it here out
Yeah,
loud. Is
yeah,
that cool?
yeah.
Okay.
Do it, girl. Do it, girl. Please do it.
Oh, yeah. So if you're catching this and you've stayed to the end, favorite daughter, friends, and family get 10% off of Rebecca's one-on-one deep dive brand therapy session, which I promise you is worth every penny. We have done a lot of back and forth supporting each other's businesses, and so 10% off is a big deal. So all my little business owners who are out there who are like, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm just gonna wing it. Rebecca's your person.
This is your time. This
This is
session, which you can get at brandventure.live, Live, and I'm sure you'll have a link in the show notes as well to enter your coupon code for favorite
writing it on my
daughter.
little piece of paper.
Brand, brandventure.live.
Yep.
Um, this is a 90-minute deep dive session for people who feel lost.
Yeah.
And it may be around identity, like, oh, what is this? What is the point? What am I even here for? It
Hmm.
may be around, I just don't have the words. I keep wanting to say, like, I got a client today where we were really working through the tough nut of like, is it strategic planning? Is it program management? Are you creating the program? Where you get really stuck in like, I don't have the words that work. I
Yeah.
don't. When you don't have those, then you don't want to take a sales call. You don't want to go on a live. You don't want to write a blog post. You don't want to dream and imagine because you feel stuck without those words, and you
Yep.
need someone to observe it and hold up that mirror. That's what this session is for. It is a
Awesome.
personal guided journey towards some identity work so that you can feel really confident in your skin because when you have the words that work, when I know exactly who are my people. I know exactly what they need. I know who I am. I know what I
Hmm.
deliver. I know why I'm different. You're bursting at the seams to share it. It doesn't feel,
Right.
you don't need a to do list 1,000 times long
Right.
that you're chalking up because you like cannot contain it. You have to
Right.
talk about it. Becomes your like essence that's got to pour out
Right.
of you.
Yeah.
If you're
Beautiful.
stuck, I'm your
That's
girl.
right. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Okay, well we will definitely put that in the show notes. Makes me sound like a professional. I love
You
it.
are.
And honestly, even this is on the front burner. It started as just Instagram Live. Like I just learned to go live and was like, all right, let me invite some people to join me. And I loved it. And then I decided to go on this platform of Riverside, which is kind of driving me crazy. I think I've told you. So in the fall, we may be on a different platform. Who
Okay,
knows?
we may be back. Riverside is very strong for the recordings and creating assets that live way beyond the live. So if that's your goal, I think Riverside is very good for that. And if you really care about like the live streaming experience with like the banners and the comments and the stuff that happens
I'm
inside,
not even seeing the comments at this point, so it's
that's
like.
fine. I don't see any comments either. Keep your comments coming.
So
Keep your comments.
usually people
We're
will comment.
answering none of them. Keep them
People
coming.
people usually comment after, like when they watched it later. So I don't know. We'll figure it out because
I know
we're
that's right.
geniuses,
That's right.
and
We're gonna adapt and overcome.
we are gonna.
The internet keeps dropping, you're gonna stand there and hold your phone as steady as you possibly can until your arm gets really tired.
Oh,
Gently
well,
switch it to the other hand.
Rebecca, you're the best. Thank you for doing this. I will put information about the deep dive that people can do with you, and anybody else that they're watching and listening. You have my information, hopefully, because you're on my social
Yeah.
media. So send me a note,
I'm the
and
precursor to Angela, so
that's right. Start there,
get your positioning and identity in check, and then take it to Angela, and
and then
she will make
we'll create
sure
a strategic plan that'll blow your socks off, or
that
we'll
you
do
don't
it
have to do all the pieces of yourself.
together, Rebecca. Oh, boy, we 1-2 punch.
From your lips to God's ears, you heard it
Yeah,
here first, live audience. We're collaborating and we're taking this show on the motherfucking road.
on the motherfucking road. All right, I will. Thank you very much. Go
Thank
hang
you.
out
Thanks for rolling with
with the internet.
the internet.